They actually thought that these policies would affect primarily Black and brown people, but they would be immune from it. And hello, and welcome to America at the Crossroad, where religion, faith, and politics collide. Hi, I am Pastor Frankie Leggett III, your host. My topic today is entitled A Most Startling Revelation. Now, I'm not a prophet, neither am I the son of a prophet, but I could say it. I really could. But you know what? I'm not. I refuse to. Would you like to know why I'm not going to say it? It's because I wish I weren't right on this issue in the first place. I really do. I really, really wish I was wrong. But I wasn't. Therefore, I could say, I told you so. I could say it because I have been warning you that this day was coming. I did. In fact, I have two presentations in the archive on the YouTube channel, on our channel here, that you should watch. And if you haven't watched it, you need to go check them out. One is Countdown to Crazy, and the other is Countdown to Chaos. And so what's happening right now is worse than most people thought. But would you like to know what the greatest revelation to me from all of this is? Here it is. It's that MAGA, and it really it's an attestation of the fact. It is an indication of the fact. It bespeaks the fact of just how racist many folk in the MAGA community are, particularly white Trump voters are. And they are truly, 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 I can't even describe their reaction and their response right now, because they actually thought that when Trump promised he was going to do all of these things that he was going to do, he was going to deport 11 million illegal aliens and undocumented Hispanics and others. And it's not even just Hispanics. Folk who are from other ethnic communities are being deported. When he said he was going to build a wall, he was going to do all of these things. Talked about DEI, getting rid of that. He told them exactly what he was going to do. And you know what? They did not believe him. And they actually thought that, notwithstanding they heard everything that he said, they actually thought that these policies would affect primarily Black and brown people, but they would be immune from it. And somehow they concluded that this was a dog whistle just for people who look like me. But they would be immune from his policies. And they wouldn't be deported. and they wouldn't do it. And when he told them that he was going to, Project 2025 said they were going to strip the government and replace him with Trump loyalists. They didn't believe him. And MAGA members and Hispanic members of MAGA in particular, it's incredible. Hispanic MAGA members actually believed that Trump would not deport them. 10 years ago, when he came down the escalator, his campaign began with there's muggers and robbers and thieves coming from Mexico. And in the first term, he started building a wall. But they did not believe him. Incredulously. And white MAGA members thought that only black and brown people would be impacted, deported, fired, and lose their jobs, lose their insurance coverage, whole 9 yards. Not in a million years did they think it was going to affect them. And now they realize that Trump cares about no one but himself, and they have the nerve to be devastated. I swear, I don't get it. And MAGA, I'm not really trying to pour salt in your wounds. I'm not trying to be insensitive. But you can't be that. You can't be this clueless. Asian MAGA members thought that they would be spared. So I'm not going to do a lot of talking today. I'm going to allow these video clips to do the talking for me, because you're doing the talking. I'm just going to show the clips. I'm going to show you what you sound like, what you look like, and how you're acting and behaving and functioning. And so the first clip I want to share has to do with how Trump voters are actually in shock. Take a look at this clip.
A Trump supporter has just lost their job directly because of Donald Trump's policies, and they are in a state of confusion. They are reaching out to Donald Trump for help and thinking that this should not have happened to them. Take a look at this. This person says, "My wife is a nurse and was recently hired by the VA. Our home is packed up. We have a new home, spent thousands to move from Fort Worth to Waco. Following Trump's hiring freeze, the VA rescinded her job offer." Now look at what's highlighted. We are all huge Trump supporters, and I know this was an unintended consequence. What do you mean it was unintended? Did they really believe that Donald Trump could create policies that would only affect non-Trump voters, that somehow Trump voters wouldn't be caught up in all of this? This is the find out phase. This is exactly what you voted for, someone who would sow chaos. And it's not just going to affect the people you don't like, it will affect you too.
This is the find out phase. And I got to share this with you. And I don't know, maybe I live under a rock, okay? But in preparing for this broadcast, I kept seeing 4 letters. FAFO. And I can't even say what they are. FAFO. And all the non-Trump voters are using that phrase, that term, those letters. All right. So, and he just did it. So now he mentioned the last two words of the F and the O, and that's to find out. The first two letters are FA. Okay. You mess around, you didn't mess around. And I'm obviously not using the first letter, which is an F. You didn't mess around, and now you didn't found out. I'm saying, and I said, FAFO, FAFO, FO. Oh, yeah, because they truly are finding out. And the woman said, Mr. Trump, President Trump, I know that you did not mean to do that against us, your white peeps. I know this was an accident. So, Mr. President, just correct it. Just correct it. And we good. And ain't happening. And I really am sorry that you didn't know that. I really am sorry that you put this man who has been a liar and a criminal all his life, that you put all of your faith, your hope, and your aspirations in this, the most incredibly flawed human being I have ever met. I am so sorry that you put all of your faith, your hope, and your aspirations in a man like him. And you know what? It says something about you and your judgment. It really does. To me, the fact that they literally believed that they would be exempt and they were going to be immune. And they only thought that Trump's policies would affect Black and brown people. How racist? How racist can you be? And it exposes how racist you are and how racist you've always been, even though it hasn't always been politically correct, because during Obama's administration, it was not politically correct to be racist. So racism, to a certain degree, went underground because people were walking around and they were wrong, talking about we are a post-racial society, you knuckleheads. Or every one of you that said that. The racism of white America just went underground. And as soon as Trump came in, he sent a dog whistle to all the racists and haters, and they came back out in force. Now, next video. This video is about a Latina, and she is absolutely devastated and terrified for her family in terms of that which is it could possibly happen to them and how they're all terrified. Check this out.
This is so crazy that we voted for Trump. We trust him with the word that he promised us Latinos. This is crazy that starting next week, multiple cities will be hitting immigration. That is so crazy that multiple people are scared to go to work. Where I work at, a lot of Latinos did not go to work, and that's crazy because we have a living too.
I hate that I voted for him. We need to come together and do something about this. In my final clip, in a minute, I'm not going there right now, but in my final clip, I'm going to share with you a video from a non-Trump supporter who's going to address the individuals, the Trumpers, who make statements like that. Oh, I didn't know he was like that. I didn't know I would get hurt. I didn't know I would lose my job. I didn't know I would get deported. I didn't know my husband or my wife would get deported. I didn't know that I wouldn't be able to, that all of my workers would be deported and I'm about to lose my business. I didn't know that I would lose my insurance coverage. I didn't know that because he's put a freeze on a bunch of stuff, I did not know that my utility bill was going to go up. I didn't know anything about this. You know what? We need to come together and we need to do something about that. She, at the very end, my last clip, she is going to make a statement about that. And she is right on about that kind of mentality because it really isn't genuine. It's in the moment. But this woman didn't believe that Trump would do that. And I don't know why they didn't believe him. Because from 2020, after he got beat in that election and tried to steal it and should be in prison. And I fought Merrick Garland for sleeping on the job and not expediting this process because we could have been spared all of this stuff. From the day he lost the election, he started lying about having lost the election. And then he started talking about what he was going to do when he gets back in. He told you what he was going to do. And it's not on him that you didn't believe him. It's on you. He told you what he was going to do. He absolutely told you on day one, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that. I'm going to gut the government. We're going to reduce government spending. He's going after Medicaid, Medicare. And because he's put freezes on stuff, USAID, people are losing their jobs. And because he's put freezes on funding that hospitals and a bunch of stuff have received for forever, hospitals are going to have to close and shut down. Veterans are losing benefits. White MAGA members were so racist. Listen to this. White MAGA members were so racist that they are saying, I just want I want Trump to get rid of Obamacare, but I want to keep my Affordable Care Act insurance. You clueless people. Trump and the Republicans called the Affordable Care Act Obamacare because they were trying to get rid of it. They literally did not know that Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act are one and the same. And now they're losing the Affordable Care Act. And they're like, oh my gosh, how can he do this to us? Are you serious? You cannot be serious. You can't be this clueless. And I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it again. I'm really not trying to pour salt in your wounds. But you were not listening. You created this environment. You made him your God. You did that. You accepted him with all of his flaws. And now guess what? You get what you get. You got what you got. Here's another Latina. Her and her entire community are feeling betrayed by their president. Check her out.
Beyond betrayed. They used us during the campaign. The elected officials from the Republican Party, they actually told us that it was not going to touch the documented people.
Their pain is not funny. I'm sorry. Their pain is not funny. But what is funny is she now feels that all of the Trump people deceived them intentionally to get their vote. When the fact of the matter is, the problem is you weren't listening. MAGA, you're the problem. You are the problem. He told you he was going to deport Hispanics. He told you that in no uncertain terms. How in the world did you ever conclude that you would be exempt from that? How? Explain that to me, please. And then you have those Republicans, those MAGA, those folk who voted for Trump, who were just misguided. And their thought process, when you think about it, when you watch this next clip, their thought process was just nonsensical. When you think about it, it was absolutely nonsensical. So check out the clip, this clip about 2 Trump voters. Check this out.
Do you mind if I ask who you voted for in the election?
I voted for Donald Trump.
What the hell is wrong with these people? Honestly, what was going through their minds when they kept hearing about, well, you know, we need to reduce the size of the federal government. The problem is the government. We need to make it smaller. What did they honestly think was going to happen when they know that their district relies so much on, their county relies so much on federal funding? What did they think was going to happen? They know when they live and operate in a Republican state, that the Republican states decide we're actually going to reduce taxation and reduce public services, reduce funding, for example, for the poor. So that's why schools like this have to rely on federal funding. So when the Republicans were talking about reducing the size of the state, and Donald Trump was using this as a rallying cry for getting into the White House, what did these people think was going to happen? Honestly, what is wrong with these people?
And so I forgot I edited out the first portion where there was another woman. She was I think in the same school, a teacher. And here's what I learned by watching this clip. The 15 states in the United States of America, the 15 states that depend most heavily on government funding to fund their programs, the schools and all of the other programs that they run. The 15 states that receive the most funding from the government are all red states. They're all red states. And so he told them he was going to reduce the government, he was going to reduce spending, he had to get rid of programs. And the woman said, if we don't get our funding, no, this guy said, that guy right there, he said, if Trump goes through with this, He said, I can tell you that when these kids leave school on Friday, they may not eat again until they come back to school on Monday if we don't get this funding. And the teacher said, and the other woman teacher said, if we don't get this funding, if he goes through with this and we lose our funding, we're going to lose teachers, which means we're going to have larger class sizes because we got to reduce the number of classes we have, put more students in classes. The classes will enlarge, whole 9 yards. She said, we never anticipated this. And my question is, why? Why? What is wrong with you people? How racist can you be? How racist can you be that those policies that he was going to put in effect, you were okay with them as long as they affect Black and brown people, but not you? What's wrong with you? And here is my last clip. And I want you to check out this video clip from this woman because she is right on. Check this out.
So of all the F around and find out videos that have been going around, the one that shocks me the most is that one woman who is saying she's so upset with Donald Trump and Elon Musk and Republicans, and that's it. She's come to the conclusion and she's telling all of us there's no difference between left and right and we all need to band together. And now you guys got what you wanted and you have to suffer the consequences too. We are going to be suffering so much more over the next 4 years and maybe even beyond. And as far as I'm concerned, I will stay on my side where people are humane, where we care about all humans, regardless of their race, where we see everyone as equal. I'm going to stay on that side because you don't believe those things. You just don't want to get hurt anymore by what you voted for. There's the difference between the two. And when we're struggling, we have to come together to support each other through this. And I'll be supporting the people who did not vote for this. So don't ask for us to team together. Don't. Because tomorrow, if Trump were to flip a switch and all of a sudden just MAGA wasn't going to be affected anymore, like you thought it was going to be, you're going to bail anyway. Don't ask us to team up.
Truer words have never been spoken. These people aren't serious. They're just in pain. Truer words have never, ever been spoken. I could, in a million years, I couldn't have put it better. So, as I prepare to conclude, and forgive me for a minute, my laptop is going to shut down if I don't plug up. And here we go. Sorry. So here we go. Here's the question. Is this going to get better? So let's go to scripture. Let's let the word of God answer this for us. First scripture I want to go to is Matthew chapter 24, verse 12, which says, sin will be rampant everywhere, and the love of many will grow cold. That's what we're seeing in America, that's what we're seeing in the Republican Party, who does not care about black and brown people. See, because what they thought, here's the objective. The objective is this. Republicans, many white folks believe that black and brown people are just on the welfare list, and we're receiving all of these government subsidies, right? Welfare, SNAP, all of this stuff. We're nothing but bloodsuckers and hangers on. And so Republicans have been wanting to deal with us forever. Republicans say, well, I worked myself up I pulled myself up by the bootstraps. Why should they get a handout? Boy, that was a horrible Southern accent, but it's the best I could do. And so they've been wanting to deal with us forever. Failing to realize that because there are more of them, there are more white people on welfare than there are black people. We only make up 13% of the population. But they target us. And so these policies, which really are meant to harm us, but you can't harm us. What MAGA is now realizing, you can't harm us without harming them too. You can't. Because they're benefiting from the same programs that we benefit from. Here's the next text. 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 13. But evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. Ladies and gentlemen, it does not get any clearer than that. That's where we are in this country. That's where this administration is. That's where the Republican Party is. That's where MAGA is. That's where many so-called evangelical Christians, and I did say so-called because they're fraudulent, because they're hateful. Many of them, not all of them. That's where we are. And it's not going to get better. And you better know it. Why not? Because Jesus is coming. That's why. Jesus is coming. So you better get ready for that. I want to thank my producer extraordinaire, Lorraine Edwards, for the incredible job that she does. I could not do what I do without her. I thank her immensely for just being there with me, for me, and to be able to do what we do and have the platform that we platform. Lorraine, love you. Thank you. Now, if you enjoy these broadcasts, please subscribe, hit the notification button, and share these presentations with others. Let folk know about this YouTube channel, America at the Crossroads, where religion, faith, and politics collide, so that somebody else can be educated and informed. All right? And until next time, be blessed. I'll see you then.